Today, let's sew a present bag charm. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and for one more little Christmas item, we are going to be sewing this present bag charm. Now, there is a whole Etsy pattern available as well in case you want some more instructions or to follow along that way. So to get started, you are going to need some cotton material. I'm just using this Christmas cotton I had on hand. It's a really scrap buster, so you do not need that much. You're going to want a key ring, and then you're also going to want lightweight to medium fusible interfacing. Then we're also going to have a nice little ribbon decoration, so I'm using 3/8 of an inch ribbon. You could use something smaller if you wanted, but I'd say definitely don't go any wider. So now to get started with cutting out our materials, we are going to want two rectangles out of this cotton material that are around 3 by 4 inches. And again, the exact dimensions are in the pattern as well, but I'm just going to be cutting out those two rectangles. So these are the front and back of our little present. Then you're going to be cutting out two rectangles of the fusible interfacing of the exact same size so that we can have that to help stiffen this up a little bit. So once this is done, you should have 4 pieces cut out. Then we are going to need our key loop, so this is around a 3 by 2 inch rectangle as well. And then for our ribbon, you're going to be cutting out 3 pieces of ribbon. One is like an 18-inch piece, so a little bit longer. Another is 5 inches, and then one is 4 inches. So we'll be using all of these to make the entire present bag charm itself. So I'm going to set the ribbon aside, and now I'm going to attach my fusible interfacing. So taking one piece of your cotton fabric, you're going to find the wrong side. It's a little harder on my fabric, but you want to attach the bumpy side of your interfacing with the wrong side of your fabric. And then I'm just going to be placing my iron on top and letting it kind of get nice and firm, and repeat that for the second piece as well. So now I'm going to take one of those pieces that I added the interfacing to, and I am going to be finding the center of it. So I'm going to be folding this hot dog style, as you can see here, and just putting a crease into my fabric here so that I know where the center is. Then I'm going to be taking the 5-inch ribbon and just laying it on that crease. So exactly in the middle where that crease is, I'm just laying it on there and pinning it at both the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to be sewing a seam along either side of the ribbon. So basically sewing the ribbon into the fabric itself so that it stays put. And we'll go over to the sewing machine and show exactly what this looks like. So here's my sewing machine. I'm putting the presser foot down, and you'll see I'm going to take about almost like a 1/16 or like an eighth of an inch seam where I'm sewing into the ribbon into the fabric. And then you can up the stitch length to about a 3.0 if you want, just to make it look a little bit more top stitching and nice. I'm just going to go through and sew. And here's what that first edge looks like. So one side done, I'm going to repeat this with the second side. I'm doing both edges so that you don't have the ribbon flapping in any way, and this way it just holds it down nicely. So here is what that ribbon looks like. You can see it's fully attached to the fabric now. So what I'm going to do is fold this now hamburger style, so folding it in half this way horizontally. And then I have another crease, and I'm going to take that smaller piece of ribbon around the 4-inch one and lay it in the middle, similar to how we did the other piece of ribbon. And then I'm just going to pin this in place again. You could actually, if you didn't want the middle, wanted to do something a little different, you could do the top or the bottom. It's a little bit creative for how you'd like it to go. And then I'm just going to be pinning this up and then just taking the seams once again. So sewing very close to the edge of the ribbon so that it attaches to my fabric. So now I'm going to set that aside and start working on the loop itself. So first thing I'm going to do is fold this in half so wrong sides are actually touching in together, and then just press this so that I get a nice little crease. Then I'm going to bring both of those long edges into the middle towards the crease. If you're used to making binding, we're basically just making a small piece of binding here. So I'm just going to put those raw edges in towards the center and then press all of this out as well. And then lastly, I'm just going to fold this one more time in half and then press it over, and now we have a piece of fabric that none of the raw edges are showing. And what we can do with this is actually now pin this up and take a seam along that one edge, and it's going to allow us a really nice little piece of fabric we can use as our loop holder that will not have any raw edges. So going back to my sewing machine, if you increased your stitch length, bring it back to a 2.5, and then I'm going to be taking around an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance here, being sure to backstitch at the beginning and then the end, and just taking that straight stitch all the way down, being sure that I'm getting both of the front and the back pieces. And then I have this nice little loop. So now we have our three main pieces that we are going to be using for our present. So we have the front that has the ribbon, we have the back, and then we have our little keychain loop. So I'm going to be using the front, and at this you can decide, do you want a horizontal present or a vertical present? You can kind of shift this whichever way you like it to go at this stage. I'm going to be going with the horizontal, and then I'm going to be taking my little loop and just folding it in half. So you can see I have kind of like that loop at the bottom. Both of those raw edges are matching at the top. And then I'm going to be laying this on top of that ribbon at the top so it goes exactly in the middle of our present, and then pinning that in place. So you can see that all the raw edges are matching. If you fold this little loop over, you're not going to be able to see any of the raw edges, so the loop itself is facing down. And then you could obviously baste along here if you want to hold it in place, or we can do this all just in one stitch. So I'm going to take the back of my present, lay it with right sides together on the top of the present. As you can see, the right sides are together, and then just pin all the way around this rectangle. Now on one of the edges, I am going to be leaving a 2-inch gap. So just for reference, on my little board here, 1 square is an inch, so that's how I knew where 2 inches was, but you could definitely use a ruler to measure that out as well. And then I am just going to be marking that with double pins. So starting at that white double pin, going to be sewing all the way around and finishing at that bottom double pin, leaving that gap opened. This will allow us to sew everything up together really nicely. So now at my sewing machine, I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch seam allowance for this and just sewing all the way around, being sure to pivot at the corners, and we'll talk about that as we go through. So I backstitched at the beginning, started sewing. When I got about 1/4 inch away from the corner, I stopped, left my needle in the fabric, lifted my presser foot, turned it 90 degrees, and then put the presser foot back down and continued sewing. And then I'm going to be doing this for each of those other corners as well, being sure that I'm just taking my time going through, doing that nice 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then when I get to the second double pin mark, I'm going to be stopping, being sure to backstitch at that end too. So here is what it looks like. So now we're just going to go through, clip off some of that extra fabric near the corners, being sure not to cut into the seam itself. This just makes it a little bit less bulky, especially when it comes time to turning. Any other fabric spots where you think there could be a little extra fabric, you can trim those as well. Just don't trim into the seam itself. So here's what it currently looks like, and now using that gap that we left on the side, we are going to be turning this right side out. So I'm just going to be pushing my fabric through that little opening. If you have any difficulties, you could use the pointy end of like a paintbrush or a pencil or a turning tool to help you. But here's what mine looks like, and now on the side where we had that gap, you're just going to be pinning the raw edges into place so they are going inside the present so we don't see them, and then just pinning that gap closed. Then from the back of your present, you can go ahead and just very gently press this out. Do not press the side that has the ribbon, as the ribbon could sort of melt. But here's what mine looks like. So now we're just going to be top stitching all the way around the rectangle so that we can kind of close off that gap. And then this is what the loop looks like at the top. It turned out really nicely. So I'm going to be taking around 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to increase my stitch length again to that 3.0 for top stitching, and then just start on my way very carefully, top stitching all the way around the main rectangle portion. Now when you get to any of the corners, if they are difficult to get started on, so as an example here, when I try to go, my machine doesn't necessarily want to go, I can lift the presser foot up and put something behind it, so like a ruler or a piece of cardboard, and that can just help level out the presser foot so it's easier to sew. So here's what our present now looks like. It's been top stitched. The main sewing is complete. So what we're going to be doing is taking that long piece of ribbon and just tying a knot in the middle. So very similar to how you do any knot. And then you're just going to want to tie a little bow. So you could do 2 loops and then sort of twist these behind. So just however you do a little bow is how you just want this to come into play. You could also buy your own bow if you feel you're not crafty enough to actually do this little bow portion. And then on either end, you're just going to want to cut the ribbon at a diagonal so that it helps to prevent fraying. And then you're just going to be hand tacking this in place, so I added mine directly at the top, so between where that sort of loop comes in the very top of the rectangle, and then just using a needle and thread, I just went through and did a few little hand stitches to attach the bow to the top of the present. So really nothing too chaotic or crazy with this, just going through with my little needle and thread, attaching the bow on top of the present, and then going through this a couple times to make sure that it's knotted and really held in place. And then one thing to note is the thinner the ribbon you use, the easier this will be to sew through. So if you use a thick ribbon like I did, it will be a little bit thicker to sew all of these layers together. So at this point, the present is complete. The last step we have to do is add our little key ring. So you'll see that the key ring is kind of like threaded. So we're just going to open one of those rings and then thread this on with our loop. So just adding it in place and then just looping that all the way around. And now we have a bag charm. So I thought this turned out so cute. It's so fun to add to your purse or bag for the holidays. Again, there is a full Etsy pattern available if you want even more step-by-step instructions, as well as the pattern pieces that come with it. But if you enjoyed this, be sure to let me know what other types of bag charms would you want to see for 2026. I would love to make more. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching.